Go Ford for your next truck or SUV and find an easier way to buy with Woodhouse Ford today, and experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT, plus 3.9% APR for 60 months with approved credit. $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Expires 1/02/2024.
This episode is brought to you by Let's Productions. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. See you there.
My name is Terry Lynch. I'm with Oregon Ufology. I found myself searching for a passageway one day. And that passageway leads right across the complete section of the Cascades, which I'm sitting in front of at the moment. On top of Lima Peak. I want to make sure that everybody sees the type of things that we find in the process of research for ufology. I have located a couple that's sitting here on the top of Lima Peak. She's facing south. He's facing north.
The Middle, Cascadia Guides, a Let's production, in conjunction with Alien Strand Films.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Cast. I'm your host, Don Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. So we ran a little bit behind. It was just an accident. We were having some technical difficulties. You know how things are in the technology world. Some things just don't work correctly. So we got it going. Thank you guys for being here today. You know, you can find us, Alien Strand platform, on 26 platforms, okay? So you can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, you know, all those good ones, Amazon. You can catch us on Amazon Music now. So you can even ask Alexa, and Alexa will play you some Alien Strand podcast. So just an FYI, you know, you can actually visit alienstrand.com. You can, our website is up. You can visit A.S.D.P-UFO.com as well. So, you know, we are part of Alien Strand Disclosure Project, you know, and we look at the ticker down there, and you can see everything that we're trying to do here at Alien Strand. You know, it's just a big family, a big community that we're trying to put everything together. Today's going to be an amazing show, you know, because we have a special guest on today. Her name is Marisol, and we're going to get her on here shortly. But I just want you guys to just kind of remember of what we're doing here today and where it all starts, right? So, you know, we, of course, we have our film, The Middle, that I hope mostly everybody has watched, and I hope you have watched it. It's still on Amazon Prime for $2.99. No commercials, right? You can still find it on Tubi TV and all those good ones, you know, for free. These are going to be free as well. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up there as well, you know, after you watch the movie. That helps a lot, you know, to kind of get it circulating, right? You know, because we put a lot of hard work into it, and it's not just a documentary, but it's just something that you guys have to understand of what you're seeing up in the sky. You know, a lot of people don't really understand where helps you. It actually helps you, try to figure out how to do this, right? And this is what Terry Lynch does. And then, of course, our great find that we found on top of Paulina Peak up there that Terry Lynch found, and we were able to document every single thing that was up there, right? So thank you guys for watching that. I really appreciate that. That's one big thing that we're here and getting the information. We are now on 17 platforms, so be ready. It's going to be popping up everywhere, all over different countries. We're on 5 countries right now. So as far as the film, now we're going to have we started filming the middle part 2. We got 90% of that done. Okay. Just kind of remember that. We did that about a few weeks ago, and it's not wrapped up yet, but we're going to get that out to you guys as soon as possible. This is going to be a really good documentary. It's going to be a little dark, but it's going to show you the things that happen to folks, after they encounter an alien or extraterrestrial, even a sighting at that, because that's where it all starts, right? Remember I talked about it starts from the very beginning, and this is where it starts. So I hope you guys understand that what this next film is going to be. It's going to be dark, but it's going to be good. So everybody can get a grasp on exactly what's happening to these folks. Now tonight's podcast, it's number 93. The star people are the aliens or demons, right? And we're going to be talking to Miss Marisol, because she has a lot of information about what happened to her. If you guys want to chime in on this podcast, you guys will be on there. I'll put your names up there. Your names will come up on screen. You can ask questions as we go through this podcast. And remember, keep an open mind, because this is exactly what it is. You need to have an open mind, to just to see the experiences that she went through. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So, and don't forget what happened yesterday was they made history, with the UAP in Congress when they had that meeting, with David Grush, Ryan Graves, and then David Fravor. Give those guys an applause, because they actually made history yesterday. So, if you have a chance, go back and look at that, a live stream if you can. I know it's not live anymore, but you can check that out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get Miss Marisol in now, okay?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, finally.
Right on. We finally got you on the show. Yay.
Hey.
We had a little technical difficulties, but it was okay. It's all right. We got you back on. Now, for people that don't know who you are part of A.S.D.P representative as well. So you represent Florida, and because you do have a lot of activity over there. And today we're going to talk about you and things that happened to you as a young child. And I want people to understand and just kind of keep an open mind and be patient and know where you're coming from. Up here and in your heart as well, because that's where it all counts, right? So can you kind of just give us a little rundown from the very beginning?
From the very beginning, I'm from Connecticut. I was born and raised in Connecticut, and my first recollection was I was 3 years old. I went to bed with my sister, and I felt the blanket moving off of me. Mind you, I thought that it was my sister, but she wasn't doing it. She was sleeping. So I told her, please stop. And I realized it wasn't her. It happened again, but this time just a little faster. And so I sat up and I grabbed the blanket from the floor, and I felt something touch my hand. And when I looked, it was a little blue baby, a blue child like myself. It didn't look like an alien as far as the big eyes or anything. It literally looked like a human blue child.
Right.
The head was a little larger. It had hair on it. I'm not a great artist, but the eyes, it's because I didn't have the right paint, but the eyes kind of looked like the night.
Wow.
But it was a child. There was about 2 to 3 of them would come. But what happened after that, I put the blanket back on myself and I laid on my tummy and I covered myself from head to toe. And I'm giggling under there, wondering what's going to happen next. And I'm being levitated.
Wow.
I'm being levitated, and these little beings take me through our apartment. I see my dad and my mom sleeping together, my brother and my other little brother. And then it brings me back, and as I'm floating back, I'm floating towards the window, and I get a little scared. I say to myself, I'm not supposed to go outside. Now, people ask me, what did I see as I went out, as I'm looking out the window? Honestly, I don't, I saw maybe a light. I don't recall seeing any shapes or any orbs or anything, because as soon as I thought that, I had that thought, they levitated me back into the middle of the room and set me down gently. They did not harm me. I just got back up and just went back to bed. I didn't have another experience until later on, and this time it was more like games. They would come into the room, and they had these little things that they would put in front of me, little shapes.
Right.
Most of them were triangular, and I would have to put these little shapes into other shapes, and when I got it right, they would levitate around me. And I don't recall seeing any other children but myself and either 2 or 3 of these little blue children.
Now, were you sitting? How old were you, first of all, at that point?
I was 3.
3. Okay. So do you, I know I have memories when I was a young child too, and it's hard for some folks, but do you remember, were you sitting on your floor or were you somewhere else?
I believe I was somewhere else.
Okay.
It seemed like a room of some kind, because it wasn't my home. I knew I wasn't at home, but I didn't feel afraid that I wasn't home.
Right.
I was just playing with these little blue kids with these shapes and levitating these shapes. Every time I got them right, they would levitate. I don't recall too much as far as what the room really looked like, because I was sitting down like low on the ground with them.
Okay.
It was just basically, to me, it was a game, and it was fun having them, and I thought everybody had them. I had no idea.
Were they about as tall as you at the time? Because I know at 3 years.
Yeah, they were.
By your height? Okay.
Yeah, they were. They were like me. They looked like little kids. They didn't behave like grown-ups. They were very friendly, very kind, very gentle. Very playful, very playful.
So
they never hurt me.
So we're talking about what, 1969, about that time, you said?
I was born in 1963, so now I believe it's 1966.
66, wow. Okay. Yeah. So now we have a person here, he's asking, his name's Jesus Estrada. He says, have you ever had nightmares or after your experience and if you did, for how long?
I did have nightmares. I had nightmares when I was older, as an older person.
Okay.
And it was for maybe 4 years after. Because I thought that there was something wrong with me.
Okay. Was your sister in the room with you at the time or no?
My older sister, Naomi, she was there with me. But I don't recall her being there with me when we were together with the little blue children. But yeah, she was in the same room with me. Mind you, we lived in Hartford. Later on, things started happening as I got older. My second abduction that I could remember, where I was actually taken, but I wasn't unawares. I went to church. We had a church. My parents were pastors, and it was September 1969. Very hot day. I went to church. We all had some sort of activity at church that day, and it was hot. I was tired. I went to bed.
Right.
And I heard crying. So I'm just going back a little bit about my background. I have an older brother who passed away, but he was an alcoholic and he was abusive. So there were times where there was crying in the home when he would punish my siblings or my cousins or his own child. And I was a little scared when I heard crying, but I realized that there was more than just children crying. There were like grown-ups moaning and like really like other I heard other voices, like grown-ups, people. I open my eyes, and when I do, I am surrounded by like, I don't know, maybe like 5 grays. I didn't know what they were. I was 6 years old. Mind you, everything that I know, I learned from the Bible. So
Right.
to me, it was very frightening. These big black eyes, they were, I was just talking about it. I get nervous. They had these big black eyes, and they were just looking at me, and I was on this table thing. I couldn't move. I could move my head a little bit, and I could move my eyes, but I couldn't verbalize, to leave me alone or anything. I was just like really freaked out. I tried to fight back, and I almost could move my hand, but one of the grays grabbed my hand and put it down. I saw a boy. I saw this boy, and I heard him say to me, "It's okay. It's going to be okay." But I'm wondering to myself, this boy is, he's walking around, and I'm on this table surrounded by these cucos. Cucos in Spanish to me is monsters.
Right.
And so I'm really scared. I'm totally terrified. I want to run, but I can't move or anything. Then suddenly I'm able to move. I'm slipping down, but I believe that whatever I was laying on, this table thing, was like tilting, causing me to kind of like slip a little bit. And I tried to make myself heavy. I was scared. When a child doesn't want to be taken, the first thing they do is drop to the ground and try to make themselves heavy.
Exactly.
I tried that, but I wasn't, gravity was not there.
You weren't successful in that.
No, I was like towed behind this one gray. And then there was like a taller gray, and he was really scary looking, very muscular. And it seemed like he was communicating with the other ones. No, it's the appearance of these beings that really frightened me.
Right.
I must say that I don't recall or remember them hurting me or putting anything inside of my body or anything like that. I do recall when I was laying on that table and I looked at myself, I'm slipping and I could see part of myself. Whatever this table is, you could actually see your whole insides. Like I could see like my veins, my bones. It was like an x-ray without an x-ray. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. Like it made me look like one of those fish that you see in a fish tank that you could see all their stuff.
Right. Their bones,
like,
everything. Right.
Yeah, like that. And and that in itself really, really a lot. I wanted off that table. It really scared me. They scared me the most. It was just basically the appearance, but they let me, this gray led me to these, there were like these holes. I don't know how to, it looked like a cubby hole, kind of, right. But it was like built into the walls, and there were children there and people in there. As I'm going by, I see this girl, and she is so terrified. She's literally hugging her knees, and to me, I thought it was a woman. It was a woman, but I'm sure it was a young girl, maybe a teenager. But I was only 6, so to me, she was a lady. So right. When I looked at her, I kind of panicked, and I'm seeing these flashes. There's this wall. When they put you in there, I don't know for how long, but whenever they want you out or whatever they do to you, there's a light that comes on. It's like a flash, like a strong blue flash, and the people are gone. It makes them disappear.
Oh, wow.
So that scared me. Okay, I'm seeing this happening around me. I see this girl really terrified. I'm sure she sees exactly what I see.
Right.
And so I'm on the wall, and I see the boy again, and the boy comes towards the wall, and I try to move out of the wall, but I can't. There's like a barrier between me. I can't see the barrier, but it is there.
Wow.
The boy tries to help me, but he couldn't. The flash came, and I found myself outside. I saw these three grays get into this thing. I don't know what it was, but they got into this underneath this. I don't know how to explain it. It looked like some sort of a ray light thing, but like a tube of some sort.
Okay.
And they went into this tube, and as they went into the tube, suddenly the light comes off of me because there's a beam on me. I'm able to move, so I sit up, and I feel like my clothes feel wet, moist, like I've been in water or something.
Right.
My clothes felt wet, but I was scared because I knew, number one, I wasn't supposed to be outside. My parents were very protective. They monitored everything that we saw, that we did, everything. So I was scared to knock on the door. So I picked up some rocks and I threw it at the window the best I could till I got my sister to wake up, my sister Naomi.
Wow.
She tried to open the door, but my mom got to the door before I did. I had to explain to my dad the next day what happened. And,
let me bring this to your little point here. I mean, so we have. I mean, I've told stories about people that were abducted as children. Now, what I've noticed in my research of folks that I do this with, when they're children, they're not under any kind of paralysis whatsoever. They let them see everything, right? So they get to witness and see everything. And of course, you saw other children there. You saw an older woman there, and then you talk about being wet. Your clothes, your hair, everything was wet. Now, of course, a lot of podcasts that I talk about, when people say they're inside of these craft, it's humid in there. It's so humid. It's super humid in there. It's so wet in there that it's almost hard to breathe in a sense. That's how wet it is in there. So when you just brought that to my attention right now, it leads me to the fact that, yes, you were there. I'm not going to doubt that one. 100% you were there. And you probably were with the Greys at the time. And a person here is asking, do you think you were chosen for that experience?
I didn't find out what was happening until not my last abduction, but my abduction when I was 24 years old. That's when I found out that my family was chosen a long time ago, way before I was even born. Oh, wow. I was told that by the Shining One.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that you and your family probably were abducted at one time or another? Do you have any stories of that?
Yeah, my sister was abducted, but at that point in time, I wasn't taken with her. I saw her taken. And it was in the same place in Hartford, in the same bedroom. There was a storm. At this point, I think I'm 9. I'm 9. She's maybe, she's 4 years older than myself, so she's like 12 going up 13, I think. And there was a storm, and there's a lot of lightning. I'm scared of lightning and thunder. Right. So I see this. I asked my sister, it's lightning. I'm scared. Can I please lay with you in the bed? And she said no. And, that upset me a little bit. But I just, I laid there and I see this flash and I hear this loud thunder and the flash. So I didn't think it was anything. I didn't expect her to be gone or be taken. She was taken. I hear a bang, and then I see the flash, and it's right over her bed. And her bed was right in front of the window, and mine was against the wall. So when this flash came, she was gone. Now I'm freaking out. I'm scared. I don't know what to tell Daddy and Mommy. I'm scared to tell them anything because of the way they reacted when for me when I was 6. So I am scared.
Wow.
I don't know how much time went by, but a considerable amount of time went by. And suddenly the flash came back, the lightning, the flash came back, and she came back. But I saw a man. He looked like, I thought to me, he looked like Moses. He had long hair. He looked very human. But the way he was dressed like the people in scripture with like these robes.
Yeah.
He had a white robe with like a purple sash. He had long gray hair up to like about to here. He had a beard and a mustache. So my sister comes back and I says to her, Naomi, was that Moses? And she goes to me, I knew it was the scripture, so what else do I have as a reference?
Right.
And she goes to me, no, it wasn't Moses, it was Jesus. I said to her, well, how do you know it was Jesus? To me, it looked like Moses.
Yeah.
And she said that when the man took her, Jesus came for her, that he asked her for her hand. And when she looked at his hand, he had a hole in his wrist. She said right here. She said that he had a hole right here and that it was Jesus.
Wow.
Now, I don't get into any detail or anything. I don't know why they did that, but I've also learned from joining other groups that these beings sometimes take the form of other or whatever you believe in or feel comfortable or safe with.
Right.
So I don't know if that's the case, but to me, I saw he looked like Moses. He looked like someone out of another time.
Yeah, it probably did manifest itself into something. In other words, so that way she wouldn't get scared, right? Because
Probably.
if it looked horrible or it had big eyeballs or gray, or she would have freaked out,
Yeah.
and then she would have came back screaming at when they brought her back. So maybe that's why it manifested itself that way. I believe they can change their ways. They're interdimensional beings. I believe some of them are. You know, I mean, has anybody else in your family do you know of that may have gone through something like that?
Yeah, my daughter. You see, okay. I had no idea that this happens. I know that people get abducted because I'm an abductee. Okay, I know this happens, but I was unaware that it goes from one generation to the next generation to the next generation to the next. Now, mind you, my mom, she passed away in 2013. She was 2 weeks away from being 90. My uncle right now is 85 years old. Now, when I was in my teens, I remember my uncle talking about these angels that will come to him. And I feel bad when I think about it. I love my family. But I thought my uncle was crazy. I was joking about it with my cousin one day until I had my abduction when I was 24. When I was 24, I was staying with my sister in Southington, and she had this window, and it was from the ground to the ceiling. It was just the whole wall was a window in her living room. So I was sleeping on the couch, and this was 1989 on September, and I see this. I feel this light on my face. So I open my eyes, and I don't know. I must have been sleeping for quite some time. I was very tired. I really didn't think anything of the light. I saw this light, and I saw it was very bright. I thought that it was my sister, one of my sister's, friends. She had a friend that was in the military. He used to repair helicopters, and he was in the Army. I guess flying helicopters, and he would sometimes fly his helicopter above the condo just to, say hi and let us know he's around. And I thought it was him, but there was no noise. But I didn't remember that until later on. But I turned away from the light and I closed my eyes. I find myself outside. I'm outside and I'm next to this giant man. I mean, this man must have been maybe 8 to 9 feet tall. He was pale. Wow. Very, very pale. His head glowed, though. It had like an aura, like he emitted light from inside of himself. But right. It wasn't blinding or anything. It was just like weird. And I as I'm next to him, I see the height. I'm noticing that my head is like right by, like a little bit above his waist.
All aboard for your chance to win $1,000 every week until December 28th. That's right, $1,000 cash just in time for the holidays. To hop on board, just head to ChurchillMortgage.com and punch your ticket to the Churchill Express giveaway. Visit ChurchillMortgage.com for your chance to win big.
This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Equal housing lender. 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027.
New on Curiosity Stream. We've walked with dinosaurs. We've explored our prehistoric planet. And we were always told the same story. Extinction came from the sky. But what if dinosaurs survived? Amazing Dino World 2. Watch it now on Curiosity Stream. With monthly, annual, and bundle plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
Go Ford for your next truck or SUV and find an easier way to buy with Woodhouse Ford today and experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT, plus 3.9% APR for 60 months with approved credit. $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Expires 1/02/2024.
Oh, wow.
And his clothes, I could see his clothes. His clothes looked like the night. It looked like I could see his head more than his body. Like, his clothes made his body look like the night. I don't know how to explain it. Like, when thieves dress up to do something, they dress in black, but it wasn't black, because I took a close look at it, because obviously my head is so close to his arm. It was very tight fitting. It looked like some sort of a ski suit.
Okay, yeah.
But it had tiny little chip things in it. It looked like crystals, and it looked like they were moving. I don't know how to explain it. Like it was alive.
Wow. Kind
of weird. Wow. So he takes me to this, the wooded area behind the condos, and there's a lot of trees. He does something. He does something with his hand, like he waves like that. And suddenly this light opens up like a portal. Literally, a portal opened up, and I stepped through with him. It felt, once I stepped through, everything was really silent. Everything went silent. There was no noise of any kind. And it seemed like I was in some sort of a huge warehouse. I don't know how to explain it to you, but it was huge. Wherever I was, it looked to me like when you go into a hospital and you go into the basements and it's like really huge and big, where there's a huge warehouse and you can kind of hear the echoes, but kind of muffled, like that. I'm behind this glowy head, 8 foot tall, pale looking man, and I'm following him, and I end up in this curvy corridor. Now everything looks like seamless, like smooth.
Right.
I'm following him, and I start seeing light, like everything starts lighting up in front of him. And to the right, I could see like windows. I don't know, some huge, giant window. And I could see crystals. But to my left, there's this huge, floating crystal wall. This wall was, I don't know, maybe like maybe 2 feet, almost 2 feet wide.
Oh.
And it was floating, literally floating. Nothing was holding this thing, nothing. And it kind of, caught my attention, the floating wall. But then I'm looking and I see that next to the floating wall, like, maybe 40 feet from this floating wall, there's a door. This door is a giant door. It's like one of those doors, like when you go visit Europe and you go and they got these places that they got these huge giant doors like
Right.
that.
Right.
But the doors were like, they weren't closed. They were like this, stacked. It was like doors between doors between doors. I don't know. That's what it looked like to me. So then I see this man come back. The glowy head man comes back to the wall and he waves his hand. He waves his hand on this wall. And that freaked me out because once he did that, it seemed like the wall came alive. The wall started shooting out these balls of light. And I thought I was going to get burned because it looked like, the sparkly things that kids have. Well, I stepped back, I see these things coming, and suddenly they start forming into these, I don't know, it seemed to me like the solar systems, like different galaxies and star systems. But I felt thirsty. I felt like really dehydrated. I started feeling like really dehydrated, like I wanted water. So I thought about water, and suddenly there's this other entity, and I kind of drew him. I'm a terrible artist, but he looked kind of like a sea person. I don't know. His skin looked like kind of like a jellyfish a little bit, like a fish. But he looked like this. He had like a little mustache things on the side, like what do they call those fish that are in the
like catfish?
Yes, like a catfish.
Okay.
Like a catfish. He gave me a little vial, and I drank the stuff that was in this vial. Once I drank it, like my thirst was completely gone.
Wow.
Literally, it was really bizarre. It made me feel really good, like strong and
energized.
Yeah, I have been like a plant that has never been watered and finally was watered, like that.
Wow.
Like my thirst was completely quenched. But then I started hearing other voices. But I could only see two. Okay? I could see the glowy head man, and I see the doctor guy. But then I look at this door and there's this light coming out of the door. I'm getting nervous. I see this light. I don't know what's happening. I think it's the sun or something. It doesn't seem, I didn't see a human figure. I saw a light coming towards me, like the sun is coming towards you, like that. It scared me. I thought it started taking shape as it got closer because I had to kind of like look down, and I noticed that it had legs, a man's legs. They were huge. He was a giant. This person thing, whoever he was, which he told me he was the shining one, he was, if I were to calculate how tall he was, I think he was maybe like 24, 25 foot tall.
That's huge. That's big.
His feet were huge. Huge. I thought it was God, to be honest with you. I really thought I was in the presence of God. But as he's coming towards me, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what is this? What are you? Are you an angel? What kind of an angel are you? A cherub, a seraphim? What are you?
Right.
And this is how he replied to me. He wasn't specific. This is what he said. He said, "We have been called by many names throughout the centuries on earth."
Wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, am I dead? I'm dead.
Right.
And he says to me, no, you are not dead. But before that, because as he approached me, I thought it was God. Really. I really did. especially when I saw his giant feet. I mean, he was enormous.
Right.
He told me not to kneel before him. I thought, I'm dead. I'm dead. He says he's trying to convince me I'm not dead. He's trying to calm me. So he dims himself. As he's dimming himself for me, I can see his face. He has blue eyes with like silver stuff in it. I don't know how to explain it. His hair was completely white, but it shined. I don't know. It was like the light from inside of him. He looked like a man, but a very, very giant man.
Wow.
And this is what he showed me.
Let me ask you this. How was, when you were there standing in front of him, did you feel like your body was like, some people say that when they have that kind of presence or something that happens to them like that it feels like a magnet that's been flipped backwards. You know how it has the pressure against it?
I felt
they feel pressure. Did you feel?
I did not feel pressure. At first I did. At first, as he's approaching me, I don't know if it was the fear or what it was, but there was a pressure. But I felt when he dimmed himself and he started showing me things, I didn't feel fear anymore. I felt loved, like if it was my grandfather or somebody that in my family, basically,
right.
Like a grandpa or an uncle, somebody that you respect,
right.
And he showed me this place. I don't know how to describe it, and I do not know where he took me. But this place had crystals. It was like I saw all these crystal structures. Some of them looked like flowers, but it was crystals, like in shapes of flowers. But these were like homes. They weren't like decorations or something that you put out to. These were structures. I mean, I believe people were living in these things.
Oh, wow.
Everything was very pristine. The grass, the trees. It looked to me, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I don't know if you guys seen that movie, Elysium.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes. Okay. So do you think that you were maybe inside of maybe a large mothership to where it looks like they're living inside of there?
I believe, yes. I believe they took me to some sort of mothership where it's like a whole ecosystem.
Yeah. Like it's alive. Like it's alive. And they survive with that, and everybody's just kind of like a city in space. You know what I mean?
Basically, yes, and that's what they do. I mean, what he showed me like a whole bunch of different types of species of things. The wall that glows, that throws out the little things. He could wave his hand on this wall, and this wall, I don't know how to explain it. It would do things, like it would bring things out of it, make it so, make it reality, like in 3D right there in front of you.
Wow.
He would bring, I mean, everything that he was showing me seemed so like magic. How could that just appear out of just this thin air? I mean, the things that he could do and the things that he was showing me, there's all kinds of embryos of all types of animals and sea life and humans.
Wow.
It is a huge facility, and they have many, it's like miles long, miles of all kinds of animals, people, all kinds of life. It's like a ark of some kind.
Why do you think that they, or chose you to see that? In other words, like,
I asked why me?
Yeah.
And this is what he said to me. Basically, what he said to me is that they choose people and tribes, and they follow them and guide them throughout the centuries. They've been doing that since humanity, since the very beginning.
Wow. You know, I believe that, you know, because, I mean, you know, some people may think, you know, what you're saying is out of a sci-fi movie, like you said, or whatever, but it's not, because you experienced these things as a child.
That's the bad, yeah.
You experienced it as a 6-year-old. Now, what we're looking at what, 1989, right? So, you know, years have passed. You're a young adult, and you're standing before this giant. You got zapped away somewhere, and don't know where you're at. But these things have been happening to you over the years. Now, you said your family, this happened to your family. It's been happening to your family over the years.
Yeah, my uncle, my mother, myself, my daughter.
And I heard that they you must have a really good bloodline that they like.
I'm A positive. I'm not no R negative or anything like that special.
It doesn't matter. It's not the blood type. It's you. It's what you have inside you. In other words, your aura, the kind of persona you have. You know, your family lineage probably has something that they're attracted to, right? And I think that's probably why they're showing you what they're showing you. You know, in your beginning of your life, and you're still going. So
they've saved me. They saved my life. Yeah. In the 80s, I was dating some really not very nice person, and he was very abusive. I was trying to get away from him, and I heard my mother's voice. I ran towards the voice, and she wasn't there. I managed to find a place to hide while my ex left the area, and he was trying to kill me.
Oh wow.
And it was the star people, because my mother wasn't there. Wow. And it was before 89. It was 1987 when I was dating that guy, and they saved me. And literally, they made it sound like my mother's voice. The voice led me to safety.
So he didn't hear it. Only you heard it?
Only I heard it. Only I heard it. Only I heard my mother's voice, and I ran to the voice. Wow. And I was able to get away and save myself.
Now, let's talk about the different side of this. I've heard you speak about reptilians and things like that.
Oh, yeah. The Shining one showed me the reptilian, and this was really shocking because everything was fine. You know, everything. He showed me this Crystal City place, and he was showing me all these tiny little things where they kept these embryos and all these things. And suddenly he leads me away from the wall into this middle area. And suddenly before me, a reptile. I mean, it was so scary. Okay. I didn't smell anything. People say that the reptilians stink. I don't know about that, okay? I didn't smell nothing. What I saw was a snake man. His head was like a snake, like this, okay? He was about, maybe, if I were to guess, his height was maybe 10 foot tall.
Okay.
He looked like his skin was brown, but a little bit dark. But he was very muscular, very tall. He had clawed feet like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, wow.
But his chest was like, you know, the snakes, they have those ripple things.
Yes.
Like that.
Scales.
Yes, those broad scales like that. He had that. He had 2 legs like a man. He had a tail and 2 arms. He looked like a snake man, like a snake person, but more like a lizard man. A lizard man. And he told me that they were called the Nakash, and that the Nakash are the ones running our planet. And that freaked me out. I said, well, I got to be dead, and now I'm in hell. I'm still in disbelief. I'm still trying to figure out what's happening to me. I'm still trying to make sense of everything that I'm seeing, everything that I'm hearing in my head. Now, after I drank the drink, there were other entities. There was a light being, another one, and this one was different. This one was like an interdimensional light being, and it was trying to manifest itself a little more to me. It was so, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't feel fear, hurt, or harm from these other entities. I didn't feel any harm from even the reptilian. I felt fear from the way it looked. Okay, because he was very, very muscular. I don't think that one man alone would be able to take one of these things.
Wow.
Really.
So when it was standing there, and it was in your presence, did it like
move?
Did it look at you or anything?
I believe it was a hologram.
Oh, okay. It was a hologram. So he was kind of showing you, this is what's here, this is what's on your planet, and this is what's running your planet right now.
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
but it was like life size. I mean, literally, it looked like it was right in front of me, but it wasn't moving. So it, like the others that were around us, the other entities that were around us, they were moving and they were interacting. The reptilian was not. It was just like he was just there.
Wow. Now, I know that you were in contact, of course, with Grays as well, and we're gonna put that picture back up. A lot of people always, kind of talk about the Grays, and you showed us pictures of what you saw.
Yeah.
Yours were blue color, right? You said sort of a bluish color.
Yeah.
Now, when you were in there or during your past experiences, did you ever see any of these kind that kind of look, with the large heads, large eyes, kind of, similar?
Similar. The one next to your face, that one, the EBE, that's the one in 1969. Those are the ones that took me when I was a little girl.
Oh, like Skinny Bob there.
Yeah, Skinny Bob one. Now the one with the grass behind him.
Yeah.
That one right there, these are the ones that come now. Those right there. Those are the ones that I've seen around here in Florida. Those
that's a totally different species right there.
Yeah, I don't know what they are, but they're here. They are.
Now, you talked about, you had an encounter. Your last encounter was in 2000?
Yeah, it was in 2000. Mind you, we moved here to Florida from Connecticut to find a better life for myself and my children.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper? A woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver. I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
I basically just wanted to get out and go somewhere new. So we moved here to Florida, and we're here now. It's 2000. I'm working. It's 10 o'clock at night. I come home, and my son and my daughter are in the living room, and they're scared. You know, a parent knows when their kids are scared. They're kind of huddled together. You know, they're usually bickering, one in one side of the room, the other one. They're sitting together. What's happening? So my daughter says, "Mom, go into your room. There's something I want you to see." So I open the door, and I look, and I don't see anything. So I says, "Well, what does she want me to see?" She goes, "Mom, you don't see anything in there?" And I closed the door, and I said, "No, I don't see anything in there." So she opens the door, and she goes, "Look." And when she opened the door, there was this orb. It was about maybe this, like that. It was a white orb, and it was bouncing from one side of the room to the other side of the room to the other. Now, I was like, what is that?
Wow.
So I closed the door, and we camped out in the living room that night.
Yeah.
So then a few nights go by. I don't know, maybe like four days later. On the fourth night, my daughter and I are sleeping, and I hear like this. So I opened my eyes, and I went to turn my head, but I couldn't turn my head. I was frozen. I see this orb. There's an orb about that big, blue orb floating above me and my daughter.
Oh, wow.
And I look, and I see there's a gray next to her on her side. I look down to my feet, and I could see two more grays on my side of the bed and two more grays on her side of the bed. And then there's two more outside on this little porch area we have.
Wow.
When I saw so many, it alarmed me. So suddenly I'm out. I asked my daughter what happened, and she said that when I went out, that the ball of light rose up above us, and as it rose, it got bigger, and the ceiling, I mean, literally, it went through the ceiling, and then she went dark. She doesn't know what happened after that.
Wow. And this is why you're standing right there, or this is what she's telling you?
This is what she's telling me.
Oh, wow. So that's why when you got home, they were scared, sitting on the couch, in a ball position, fetal position.
They were both huddled together, like really scared. And I put it all out of my mind. Okay, I had that abduction in '89. Now it's 2000.
Right.
And mind you, throughout that time, I've had other things happen to me before. Those other things, but those are a little bit more traumatic for me, so I don't really talk about those. But it's not, I don't believe it's going to end. I believe that it is going to continue, because what he told me, the Shining One told me, was that they choose families and tribes and follow them throughout the centuries. It's like they've been doing this forever. There's really not. What I'm thankful for is that I've never been harmed. Sometimes the things that they show me, I don't want to see.
Right.
Because it's alarming and scary, and I just don't want to see it.
Well, they do show a lot of apocalyptic things that are going to happen.
They do. It's alarming. It's scary. But the future is beautiful, I must say.
Well, good.
The future is beautiful. let me just tell everybody, and I'm sure everybody will be happy to hear this, there isn't going to be any more government. None.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's going to be out. Just
Nice.
letting you know.
Right on. I could take that. No. Hey, so that way the IRS don't have to be hitting me up every year, right?
It ain't going to work.
Right.
It's not going to work anymore on these things that they're doing now here on this planet too. Awesome. It's going to end.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, for the people that are watching right now, Marisol lives in Florida, so she does have a lot of activity that happens out there. So she sent me a few photos that she has gotten a couple of craft up over her home, and I'll go ahead and add those to the stream so you guys can check those out right now. So it doesn't look like much to you if you're looking at it. But the one on the left, there's a craft at the very top, right there by the cloud. Now she zooms in on it, and you could tell right there in the second photo that there's a craft there. And then when you start looking at the other two photos, these are, I think, two separate times, correct, on these photos?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Yeah. So and then the ones on the right, you're seeing the craft way above the clouds, and she's able to zoom in, of course, and then crop these out a little bit, so she's able to see these crafts as they go by. Now, usually somebody that has had a lot of visual sightings, especially abductees, will have these visuals and they'll fly over all the freaking time. And I don't know, just to keep watch or what's going on, because they want, to see what's going on with you. But you also have a video here. Okay. And, so these photos first. Let's go through this photo. So these photos, this was what, in 2019? You said.
Mm-hmm. In 2019 and in 2017.
2017. Okay, so it's been happening, right? And
yeah.
This is what you're catching above your home.
Yeah.
Now, was this in the early mornings, or are you catching these? Or
okay, I usually would take pictures around morning, but it's the feeling. I don't know how to explain it to you. Okay. All right. I don't know what it is, but it's like a feeling. Something just tells me to take pictures now. And I do. And they appear in my pictures.
Wow. Okay.
Sometimes I'm awakened from a deep sleep and I have like a urge to go outside. I go outside. Basically, that's what I do. If I wake up at 1 or whatever time I wake up and I hear that feeling or the voice, I call it the voice because it is like a voice inside of me that tells me to go outside. So I go outside. Now I'm aware that I'm going outside. It's not like they do in sci-fi movies where they're all like all tripping out and all in the daze of some kind of zombie people, they in another world. No, I'm lucid, I'm awake, and I'm aware of what's happening. I'm outside and they show up. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not a knowing. It's more like a feeling and a voice.
Well, the mostly everyone that I interviewed for this next film that's coming out, the middle part 2, mostly every single person that I talked to and I asked that question, I mean, mm-hmm. I want to say every single one of them said it. They all said the same thing. It's like a feeling I get to go outside and take a photo or take a video. It could be broad daylight. It could be at dark. It could be at dusk. And it's just at any time and anywhere, not just at home. It could be anywhere. And they
my
just
daughters, everywhere I go, basically my brothers, my daughters, my uncles. I went to Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico also. I mean, they're everywhere.
Wow. Well, let's show this quick video that you sent me. That way people can see what's going on. They won't be able to hear us, but it's just whatever in the video. And we'll go ahead and play that right now so you guys can see a little bit of a craft that she caught going over the sky. Okay, so here we go. All right, and that's no plane. It has no chemtrail. It has nothing like that. It's way up there. I do have one where it's zoomed in, but I thought this one was zoomed in, but it's okay.
The white thing, yeah, that's what caught my eye. Basically, I was looking at the moon, and I saw this white thing falling. So I started videotaping, and my phone glitched a little bit, and I saw a disc. A black little disc come out from the right and fly up. So there's two different craft there.
Wow. So there's actually two.
Yes.
Two in the video. Well, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to analyze that with A.S.D.P. and we'll.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, we are. I'm going to send it to everybody, and that's what we do as a group together. You talked about your family experiences. You talked about, your experiences as being abducted as a child, and seeing the things that you saw. I'm very vivid. And it wasn't your imagination, and it's not anything like that. It's something that you went through. Were you scared? Yes. There was points where you were scared. There was parts where they were giving you some kind of peace as well. Even your sister. So why they're coming to you, throughout the years, throughout the generations, through the families, we don't know why they do that. But all we can do is speculate it just a little bit, and know that it's for the good. It's not for the bad, because they didn't harm you.
No,
they didn't harm you. I forgot to ask you: have you ever gotten any kind of scoop marks, anything like that on your arms?
I've gotten marks. Yes, I've gotten marks on my wrist when I was 19. I thought I was pregnant. I had an abduction, and I wasn't pregnant anymore. I had marks on my wrist, my knees, and my ankles.
Oh wow.
I had like small little tiny little red dots. One was in a shape like a circle with little triangle dots inside of it. I had one in the back of my neck, like right close to my ear. It caused an argument because the father of my children thought that he said it was hickeys. It wasn't hickeys. These were tiny little red dots, and in like perfect little shapes. Hickeys don't look like that.
Yeah, they turn purple, and then it takes a while for them to go away.
It took like about a week for them to disappear. But I've had marks.
Well, I've done stories of this, where they take the babies, they take the fetus, they take the eggs, and then they end up raising those the children, and then they let you see them later. I don't know, man. I've studied these stories, and there's a lot of people think that
it's true
that you guys are full of crap, but you're not. You're not, and that's the thing,
People should know. I mean, children they come to us when we're very young. And not to believe a child or to think that a person or a child is out of their mind or they're possessed or seeing demons, something's wrong with them is wrong. For society to do that, this is why I come out. I want to come out because children are the targets. They take us when we're young, and it doesn't end. It keeps on going from generation to generation. If they still need something from you, they will come and get it. There's no stopping them. There's not like, oh, please stop or any. You have no say whatsoever. None.
Have you checked yourself for any kind of implant?
No, I haven't, but I would like to.
Do you ever feel like you've maybe have any spots that's maybe hard, like maybe on your arm?
On my hand. Your hand.
Sometimes there's a little thing in there. It's kind of made of metal, and it'll
I don't know what it is, but I got something there.
Yeah,
and,
they usually put it.
You don't see anything. There's no bruise. There's nothing, but there's a lump under there.
They usually put it like in a muscle area or around a nerve area. So, and I do that on purpose because that's where everything kind of. Energizes your body. Yeah, so I think they kind of keep and they keep track of you, and that's how they can control your your trauma too, of having that paralysis. A lot of people, they say they get the paralysis all the time.
It's bad. Yeah. The paralysis is bad. I think the paralysis part of it is like the part that makes your heart race. That's the part that makes your adrenaline go.
Right. Because you don't have your free will.
Exactly.
That's what it is. They took it from you.
Yeah.
And that's the part that, everybody just, even I would freak out too, like that.
Now that you say that, I'm thinking I've always been paralyzed with the grays, but with the shining one, I wasn't. I was walking with them. I was free to move around.
So you think, I think you're probably getting visited by two or three different kinds of entities.
I am. We are.
Yeah, because you have three different kinds of encounters. Really, what you're talking about. Two of them are almost the same, but the last one of the godly images, that one was like profound, something that's almost prophetic, something like that. That you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be fine. That you felt great when it was happening. You weren't being harmed in any kind of way.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I just, it's kind of hard to understand and to put together.
Well, that's why. This is why I started seeking out of into the UFO community, because I was raised in a religious environment where, they believe in demon possession and all kinds of stuff like that, and I knew and I believed in scripture about the shining ones and the seraphims and stuff, but I didn't really know, because I wanted to believe. I did not know until 89. I realized that the shining ones are still alive and well, and so are the watchers, and they're still doing what they do. Yeah.
And they picked your family, and they picked you. And is it a good thing? I don't know.
I don't know either. I know that when I've been in, like when I got C-diff twice, they have the capability of literally taking my consciousness and isolating me somehow, whereas when I come back into my body, I'm able to heal. I feel better and I'm stronger. I don't know how to explain it to you. It feels scary because it feels like my soul is coming out of my body. It feels that way, like I'm dying.
Yeah.
And the process of when I'm coming back and I'm back in myself, the healing is rapid. I start healing immediately. It's like they take me, fix whatever it is, and put me back.
It's like an angelic experience.
Yes, it is.
Almost like that. I would pretty much say it that way. And if they're helping you, they're helping you. And,
yes.
Because I know, not everybody is perfect, and we have the perfect body as far as our health. We all have issues, and if these entities are helping you in that sense to heal yourself of whatever issues you may have or past
and they
issues.
have, which is really I never expected anything like that. I mean, I to me it was more like I don't know how to explain it. A miracle.
Well, that's the best way to explain it. And you're starting to feel better, though. You said now.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm great. I mean, and this was like the second time, but I've been through. My kidneys shut down when I was 25, and my life was saved at that point as well. When I lost my hearing on my left ear, it's back. This happened in 2019. I was sleeping and suddenly I heard a big bang, louder than I usually hear it, and it woke me up, and I realized that I could actually hear again in my left ear. So, things like that.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Wow. I mean, I've heard of things like that too. Actually, there's a video out there of this gentleman that he lost his whole voice. He couldn't talk. He talked. That's the way he was speaking for many years. And I guess he became a preacher or whatever. And I don't know, but during one of his sermons, he starts. His voice starts changing, and you can hear it changing, and it's changing, and then finally he gets his voice back. Mm-hmm. He had lost it for like 20 years or something like that. He could speak. And, if things like that happen to folks, I'm open to all of that, because, I just believe that if they're angelic or they're godly or anything like that, I believe that, if they're there to help you, they're there to help you.
The misconception is with the godly angelic thing is that people tend to think because of scripture, I believe, I don't know, but for myself, I'm speaking, that angels are supposed to be good all the time and that they're there to just do good. Angels are just like human beings, which they have a job to do. If they have to dish out justice, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to sway from that at all.
Right.
If they're there to help you, they're there to help you. If you harm anyone that they're there to protect, you better watch out.
Right on.
But they have never harmed me. They have shown me things. And yes, some of the things that they've shown me have been quite alarming and scary. But they've also shown me beautiful things that the future holds for humanity.
Good.
So there is hope. I want people to know that these shining ones and the watchers are real. They do exist. And they're watching us all the time.
And that's a positive note. It's not negativity. It's a positive thing. It's a positive note. I talked about my past podcast I just did on Enoch, and the Nephilim and all that. That's what they talked about, the watchers, the shiny ones, the big angels, giants, things like that. Of course, the giants were bad guys, but
not all, but yeah, they too.
It's there. And all it tells you in the book of Enoch, all it tells you is to be a good person through the whole thing.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Or else. That's basically what it says through the whole book. Be a good person.
All life on this planet is precious. It is very important. It is here for a reason. Everything that's happening to humanity right now is just a big chaos. A lot of things are going to start coming into focus, and people just do right. Do good by yourselves and your families and friends. Don't do things that are going to condemn your soul.
Yeah, just be positive. Be a good person.
Yeah.
Be good people. Be good to one another, man. I preach that all the time on my show, because
definitely.
I love everybody and I love everything that everybody does, and I try to be so kind to everybody, but don't get me wrong. I'll get pissed off sometimes, but I'm human, man. I'm just like you. I'm a human being. But is there anything else you would like to say before we close out the show today?
No, basically, I want to thank all of you for your work and for joining me today and listening to my story. I want you to know that you're not crazy, that the things that you are experiencing, you're going to continue experiencing. If it's something that's been happening to you since you were a child. If you feel in any way threatened or just say, for them to stop. And I believe they will stop and they won't bother you anymore.
Oh, good. And that's a perfect way to close out, and Marisol, I just want to say, thank you for being a part of this podcast today, because what you brought to the table, you not just told your stories that are incredible, but people get to understand the side of it and how it impacted you inside. You know what I mean? Inside, it's changed you, and this is how people should actually see this other side of extraterrestrial contact. It's not all bad, not all the time.
No,
every
not
once
all
in a
the
while,
time.
you'll get a good one every once in a while, and
yes,
you are blessed to have the good one at the very end. And to kind of show you that the things are going to change and things are going to be for the better for sure.
Yes,
but
it is.
Thank you for being a part of Alien Strand Disclosure Project team. You do represent Florida up there, so if anybody sees anything up in the Florida area, give Marisol a call, because her information is on ASDPUFO.com. Go there, click on the representatives, you'll find her there. Marisol, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're welcome, guys.
I appreciate you so much. We love you, and we hope that you just keep on shining and give more podcasts like these to other people, so they can understand and it can be shared with everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, guys. Was that an incredible story or what? Stories, really, in reality, because everything she experienced was true and to her heart, right? And she wanted to tell this story. Believe me, she had a hard time doing it. Before she went on this podcast before mine, there was a few that she did not want to come on. She didn't want to tell the story because she was afraid, the stigmas that come with it, right? So remember that it's hard for folks to come out and talk about their experiences, but she had a couple of bad ones, one bad one, and the rest were pretty good. And she was able to explain it on the show today here on Alien Strand Podcast, and I'm glad that you guys were sticking around. I'm glad that you guys were with me here, the Lions Pride. We have Donna Sherman at Lion. We have a lot of people on here today that were just commenting. Justin Pinella, he was there. Everybody was on there today. Just giving their thanks and everything, and it was amazing. Thank you guys for your questions. I wanted her to tell her story. I'm sorry I didn't get too many questions in there, but you know what? I'm sure she's going to go back to this podcast. You're going to see all the information on it. She's going to see it, and she will answer your questions for you, okay? So before we leave, I just want to tell everybody, this is going to be on an audio podcast, so be sure to share that. We're going to be on 26 platforms. Don't forget to follow us on Alien Strand, their Disclosure Project, man. This is our new badge. This is our new badge of honor, for Alien Strand Disclosure Project. We created this, and if you want to be part of Alien Strand Disclosure Project, hit us up there at ASDP-UFO.com or go to our Facebook page. Hit me an instant message and say, hey, you want to be a representative? I'll answer a few questions. You'll answer a few questions for me, and then we'll get you on, okay? Be a representative. All you do is get all the information from ufology or paranormal. We do everything there, man. And we are citizen ufologists. We do not work with government, anything like that, okay? Just a reminder, go check us out there. Check out our websites. All the information is there for you guys, and we're here for you and to serve you. Remember that. And we will not scorn or look down on anybody that has had abductions or anything that that's happened in your past life or things that just happen. We are not going to look down on you. We're going to be here with you. We're going to stand with you, and we're going to stand together with you. Even if you need somebody to hold your hand, we'll be there. We have people all over the United States. We have people in Australia, the United Kingdom, Africa. We have people everywhere now that will help you, okay? So thank you guys for listening to today's podcast. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said, don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Follow us here on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We're live there as well. Thank you guys for watching the show on Twitter. I really appreciate you guys. Please tell your folks about Alien Strand Podcast. We're going to get more folks on, and we're going to tell their stories. we're going to get more stories out there, and there's more of us, more people out there. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. On behalf of me and Alien Strand Podcast, A.S.D.P, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night.
This is Kelly Green with Realty Executives, Coastal Bend, and Corpus Christi, Texas. And you're listening to the Alien Strand Podcast with Donald Ledesma. Buying or selling, visit me at kellygreenrealtor.com or visit me on my Facebook page, Kelly Green Realtor. See you there.
With Kroger brand products from Bakers, you can make all your favorite things this holiday season. Because Kroger brand's proven quality products come at exceptionally low prices. And with a money-back quality guarantee, every dish is sure to be a favorite.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Whether you shop delivery, pickup, or in-store, Kroger brand has all your favorite things. Bakers, fresh for everyone.